So cytoplasm is what? This is actually a region which is a fluid content inside the plasma membrane. So for example, if it is cell, we have studied cell membrane, cell wall is outer to the cell membrane, and then there is a nucleus inside the cell. Okay, it may contain pores. And what is cytoplasm then? The fluid present here is the cytoplasm. So all the organelles bath in this fluid, means they are present inside this fluid. So next are the, let's move on to the a short description of the virus is given here. So let's study this also. What are viruses? Viruses, they are non-living and they are living. They behave like living when they are present only inside the living body. So they use the cell machinery of the host or the living body to multiply. Otherwise they are non-living structures. So next move on to the cell organelles which are present in the cytoplasm. So the different cell organelles which are present are, the first is the endoplasmic reticulum. So endoplasmic reticulum is a large network of membrane bound tubes and sheets. So it look like long tubules or round or oblong bags. So vesicles की तरह का structure है. The endoplasmic reticulum is of two types, rough and smooth. So it's of two types, rough and smooth. So it's known as rough endoplasmic reticulum is known as RER, whereas smooth endoplasmic reticulum is known as SER. Do you know why the rough endoplasmic reticulum has rough surface? Because ribosomes are attached to its surface. Ribosomes are also known as the protein factories because they help in the formation of proteins. So these are the protein factories of the cell. So next are the SER. So SER means smooth endoplasmic reticulums. They help in the formation of lipids. So they synthesizes the lipids, and moreover they do one more thing, that is called detoxification in the cells, removal of the poisonous substances. So these are the two functions of SER, that is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So this is all about the endoplasmic reticulum. It is also known as the cytoskeleton of the cell because it provides a definite shape to the cell. So the shape of the cell is due to the endoplasmic reticulum also. It is the cytoskeleton of the cell. It is of two types, I have already told you, RER and SER. RER means rough endoplasmic reticulum, which functions to synthesize the protein, and whereas smooth endoplasmic reticulum functions to produce the lipids. So as you know, the proteins and lipids are the components of the cell membrane. So endoplasmic reticulum, we can say, helps in membrane biogenesis, means formation of cell or the plasma membranes. So it is this endoplasmic reticulum because it synthesizes both proteins and lipids, so it helps in the membrane biogenesis. This is very important. Next we'll move on to the other organelle, that is the Golgi apparatus. So let's see. Golgi apparatus were first described by Camillo Golgi, right? So it consists of system of membrane bound vesicles, means flattened sacs arranged approximately parallel to each other in stacks called the cisternae, and these are in connection with the endoplasmic reticulum always. So in a cell, nucleus is present, then here you will find the ERs, and attached to it you will find the Golgi apparatus. So they are very near to the endoplasmic reticulum. So their main function is for storage, modification and packaging of the products of the vesicles. So for example, the proteins produced by the ER are packed into glycolayers and they are modified into glycoproteins. Lipids, they are modified into glycolipids, and then they are transported to the cells. So this is the function of the Golgi apparatus. Next comes the lysosomes. So lysosomes are present in the animal cells, but they are very less or not present in the plants actually. So lysosomes, they are the membrane bound organelles or sacs and contains the digestive enzymes, and enzymes are mostly hydrolytic in nature, means they break the components. Hydrolytic enzymes are present. So lysosomes are a kind of waste disposal system of the cell. So it's a waste disposal system of the cell. So it is also known as demolition squad, cleaning agent, or scavengers of the cell. So these are the various names given to the lysosomes. They are also known as the suicidal bags. Suicidal bags because in case by accident if the membrane of the lysosome ruptures, then its own enzymes can kill the internal cell organelles, leading to the death or killing of the cell. So it is also known as the suicidal bags. Next comes the mitochondria. So mitochondria, they are known as the powerhouse of the cell. Nucleus were known as powerhouse of the genes, but powerhouse of the cells are the mitochondria. They are known as the powerhouse of the cell because they generate ATP, right? Adenosine triphosphate, which is the energy currency of the cell. So for every work we do, we need energy. That energy we get in the form of the ATP, and that ATP is stored in the mitochondria. That is why it is known as the powerhouse of the cell. So mitochondria is also a double membrane bound organelle. So mitochondria are strange organelles in the sense that they have their own DNA and ribosomes. So they are also known as semi-autonomous. Semi-autonomous because they can replicate their own, because they have their own proteins, they have own DNA, and they have their own ribosomes. So they can self-replicate. So therefore they are not dependent on the nucleus for their replications or copying. So they are called the semi-autonomous organelles. One more organelle which is semi-autonomous in nature, means which contains DNA, is the plastid. Next organelle we are going to learn is the plastid, and that is also a semi-autonomous organelle. So plastids, they are only present in the plant cells, they are absent in case of the animal cells. So here they have mentioned that plastids are of only two types, but I want you to remember that plastids are of three types instead: chromoplasts, leucoplasts, and chloroplasts. Chloroplasts contain the chlorophyll pigment, so it helps in the photosynthesis, whereas chromoplasts, they give color to the flower and the flowers and the fruits of the plant body, and leucoplasts, they help in the, they are colorless plastids, and they help in the storage of oils, then fats and proteins, starch, etc. So they help in the storage, and they are mostly present in the roots of the plant. So this is all about the plastids. So plastids are also semi-autonomous in nature because they also contain the DNA. So this is important to note that they also, like the mitochondria, have their own DNA and ribosomes. Next is the vacuoles. So vacuoles are storage sacs for solid or liquid contents. So they help in the osmoregulation of the cells, and in plant cells their size is very large. For example, if we draw a plant cell, there is only one single vacuole, and that too very large, and it pushes the nucleus to a side. That is why the nucleus is eccentric in case of the plant cells. Whereas if we take the example of the animal cell, in animal cell the vacuoles are, this nucleus is in the center, and the vacuoles, they are small in size and they are numerous in number, right? So this you have to remember as the difference. So central vacuole of some plant cells may occupy 50 to 90% of the cell volume. and there is one layer present or the membrane of these vacuole, that is known as tonoplast. This is very important. What is tonoplast? It is the membrane which covers the vacuole. So vacuole membrane is known as the tonoplast. Next come in plant cells. Vacuoles are full of sap, cell sap, and provides turgidity and rigidity to the cell. Here it's written, and these includes amino acids, and then they store the substances like sugars, various organic substances, acids, amino acids, some proteins, etc. And in single celled organisms like amoeba, the food vacuoles contain the food items that the amoeba has consumed. So the food items, food vacuoles are present in amoeba. In some unicellular organisms, specialized vacuoles also play important roles in expelling the excess water and some waste from it. So it helps in excretion and osmoregulation. It helps in the maintaining the turgidity, rigidity, storage, and then food vacuoles you have studied, excretion and osmoregulation. These are the functions of the vacuoles. So next comes the a short description of the cell division is given, that new cells are formed in organism in order to grow to replace the old, dead and injured cells and to form the gametes required for reproduction. The process by which new cells are made is called the cell division. So I have already told you that nucleus is the controlling center. So when a cell has to divide, then this nucleus first divides into two. So this nucleus will first divide, and then when this nucleus divides, then this cytoplasm also divides, leading to the formation of two cells. And how this signal comes into action? When the nucleus-cytoplasmic ratio, means the nuclear control over the cytoplasm, gets weakened, then it's time for the cell to divide. So the process of cell division, by which most of the cells divide for growth, is called mitosis, and this process each cell called mother cell divides to form two identical daughter cells, right? So the daughter cells have the same number of chromosomes as mother cell, and it helps in the growth and repair of the tissue. So what is the function of the cell division? It helps in the growth and the repair of the tissue. So this is all about the chapter. Only one lecture, that is based on the diffusion and the osmosis process, is being left. So that I will make a separate video for it, and I will put the link in the description box in this video. So you can go to that link and click it and can get the information regarding the diffusion and the osmosis. So this is all about the chapter fundamental unit of life.